Okay, cool.
Hey guys, it's Nutrition Victoria with Nutrition by Victoria, and joining me today is EJ,
Hello.
and she is a high carb, low fat, plant-based vegan who's lost about 40 pounds on this lifestyle. So we're going to chat it up tonight, and well, actually it's morning for her. So so we'll have some good content coming for you guys. EJ, do you want to talk about your social media and where people can find you?
Yeah, so my YouTube channel is Weight Loss with EJ. I have an Instagram, EJ the DJ, but I think I have to change that shortly. And I'm starting up again my channel, and it's to do with high carb, low fat veganism and weight loss, cycling and trail running, which I'm really into, and whatever I like, really. And I'm from Australia. So at the moment in Adelaide, South Australia.
Cool. And you have some pretty cool roommates, I've heard as well.
Yeah, I've got a pigeon. Pigeon has
Yeah,
a roommate and 2 boxes.
that pigeon is going to be famous, I'll tell you.
Yeah. I should start up a TikTok for him.
I'm sure it would go viral. Like, people love that funny stuff, like pet pigeons. So to get started, everyone wants to know like about your weight loss story. Particularly like what your life's diet and lifestyle was like before you lost weight, and then how you lost weight recently, if you want to get into that.
So as it all started, um, growing up, I was in a dieting mindset. Like I was, because it's everywhere. Like as a young female, you're told not to eat too much, to don't have too much dessert, and cut sugar as much as you can. And I had a bit of a restrictive mindset. And then when I was about 14, I turned vegan. And now I'm almost 23, so it was quite a while back. And I was yo-yo dieting at the start for a while, and I was doing raw veganism. I even tried, and just like eating less. I got down to quite a low body weight at the time, and from all the restricting. And then I found high carb, low fat veganism. I did put on a lot of weight. I put on, the heaviest I was 78 kilos, and I packed it on. I was eating like relatively low fat, but I wasn't super strict on the fat grams, but my weight kept creeping up, and I held that for a couple of years. It was really hard at that time. And then I just started focusing on getting fitter on the bike, cycling, being more active, and just focusing everything but weight loss. And then just being healthier, and then being more strict on the fat intake really boosted my weight loss. The past 2 years, I've maintained my weight, and I've actually still getting leaner. The past 6 months, I've been like cutting out most overt fats. I still eat fats here and there, but I'm very strict on that, and I'm lighter than ever. Down from 78 kilos now to 59 kilos. I eat abundantly: fruits, sugars, sweet potatoes, pasta, rice, grains, legumes, vegetables, all that. Focus on getting enough sleep, enough water, and I'm just focusing on becoming faster with my 5K running, and getting back onto the road bike. I had a bit of a break because I had a bad accident 2 years ago, mountain bike accident. So yeah, and so I've maintained my weight loss now, and everything is all good. I'm feeling healthier than ever. My bloods are really good. I'm going to get a blood test shortly, like as an update. Yeah, so.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. I actually didn't know that you had a background of metabolic damage, that you came from that.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I mean, I feel like that's pretty standard, and most people who end up finding this lifestyle are coming from some kind of like disordered eating, restrictive background, because this diet offers like food freedom. So you get to eat as much as you want every day of like the tastiest foods. Everybody loves carbs.
Yeah.
Um, you're eating all the good stuff. And yeah, I think your story is really awesome. And you're definitely very inspiring for so many who are like, I guess, still questioning the lifestyle. And I mean, that's like a lot of people that I work with, that because of the amount of time it takes in order to get results, especially when you're coming from metabolic damage, it can be discouraging to keep moving forward with it. So
Yeah.
kudos. You definitely like stuck it out, and I feel like
It's so
it makes
hard.
you oh yeah, and I feel like it makes you a better person like at the end, you
Exactly.
know.
Yeah. Like to focus elsewhere on just weight and focus on your personality and getting healthier and fitter and just being consistent and really trusting the process and trusting this lifestyle definitely takes a major role into moving forward past that metabolic damage process.
Absolutely. It's like you're finding yourself and you're having fun in the process. Like you said, you're getting into trail running and you got into cycling and everything. I'm sorry to hear about your accident though. I mean, I feel like it's kind of like something that you risk like riding, but it which sucks, but I love it. So
Yeah, well, it was a rookie mistake I did. I was descending too fast. I
okay.
was I was inexperienced at the time. I was mountain biking and um yeah, I just went way past my comfort zone. So that's a lesson learned for me. I broke both my wrists and my elbow. I've got the
Oh my
scar.
gosh. Oh. Yeah, that sounds like it was pretty brutal. That's when I hear like people have gotten in the worst accidents other than getting hit by like a car.
Mm,
Which is why like, wearing the high vis and everything and running lights is so important. But other
yeah,
than that, I feel like everyone who's gotten into a bike accident, it's been from like descending too fast.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And just going way beyond your comfort zone, especially if you're inexperienced, just don't go beyond comfort zone descending. That's my biggest tip.
Oh yeah.
Your screen just froze for me.
Hopefully it kicks in. I don't know
Oh
what.
yeah, it's kicked in now. We're good.
I need to get a new computer. Everybody's like, why is the quality of your video so bad? I'm like, I don't know, my webcam's pretty bad. So it's better when I record on my phone. But yeah, I gotta do something about that eventually.
Oh, but you've got quality content. It's not about the quality of the image. Exactly. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I make up for it there. And I tried like with my videos to make them very relatable, very like, this is a
yeah,
home video. Like I take a lot of I've taken a lot of Harley's advice when it comes to video content of like doing zero editing. It saves a lot of time too, which I don't have a lot of time having kids and having like a busy, mom lifestyle and trying to work and stuff like that. And just I think people like to see content that's relatable, and that's what I love about your content too, is it's just like, here I am, like it's like a home video, like here's my life, like this is what I'm doing. And yeah.
yeah. Well, Harley always tells me you could be spending 20 minutes doing one video or you could do 5 videos. Just pump it out. It's too much competition. Like,
Yeah, no, he's right. I mean, my channel's been around since 2015, and I gained the majority of my subscribers during that time because there wasn't really a lot of people talking about high carb, low fat. Freely's channel was like, on the exponential rise. Harley's channel was big, and so a lot of people were into it. And plus, there wasn't like, oversaturation on YouTube. But my
yeah,
channel's never like, I don't know. Sometimes I take breaks because I like need to from social media, but I don't know. I always come back because I'm like, I gotta, keep the message going. And this is the only way to spread it where people are hearing it.
We need more females showing themselves on display, that this is the example and it's more relatable. Females are so indoctrinated with dieting culture, also men, but I would say like we need more females to get out there and spread the message. So yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm so happy we could get together, because I feel like I'm trying with my channel to showcase like all this high carb, low fat, unlimited carb success
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
Because like all the people that I work with, like they are new to the lifestyle, and a lot of them are coming from metabolic damage. So a lot of them have went through that initial weight gain that I've went through, that you went through. And it's hard to trust the process when you're not seeing, enough people on the other side of it, I guess, like on social media.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is, like, as soon as you put on weight and not many people know about this lifestyle, the people around you will tell you, oh, you're eating too much sugar, you're eating too much carbs, start eating less, portion control. And you're like really convinced by it all because everyone around you is doing exactly the opposite of what the truth is. So you just really have to trust, and yeah, we just need to showcase more evidence, more proof out there. And yeah, recently I'm doing a few trolling videos. So.
Nice.
Oh, I became obese doing this, but no, that's
No, they're
all.
good. They're good because it's total clickbait and it works. I've actually been sharing your weight loss videos, or your I gained weight videos, in my coaching
Oh,
group.
thanks.
Just because you have evidence that you've been successful with this lifestyle and that you stuck it out and everything, and you got the results, and you're just living it up now.
I
And
wish I took more photos back at that time because I was quite self-conscious.
yeah.
Um, so if my advice, like if a person's going through that stage, just take heaps of photos and evidence, and you're gonna like jaw drop later on and just be unrecognizable when you stick to it.
Absolutely. That was my thing too, is I was so self-conscious that I didn't really take a whole lot of photos until I was at least like 2 years in. My weight had plateaued and maybe even came down a little bit. And then I was like, okay, I'll take pictures now.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't have like too many solid before pictures. Plus, I'm very tall. I'm almost 6 foot tall. So like I can carry an extra 40 pounds and it doesn't really look that much different from when I'm like 40 pounds less. Like you can tell a difference, but it's not like that significant, I guess, for, if somebody was shorter and had a lot more weight to lose. But yeah, because I've showed like some before and afters, and people are like, wow, you looked better in your before pictures. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks. But
well, so it's the camera angle, it's the
yeah,
posing. I know for me, a lot of my weight was around my waist and my face. I would try to hide my waist as much as possible and in photos.
mhm.
And you really have to dig up family photos when it's all candid, and even that is quite hard to go back to.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. And for me, like I don't gain a whole lot of weight in my midsection. Like mine was always in my arms and like in my
Mm.
hips and stuff. So yeah, I mean everybody gains differently, and then when you lose, not everybody's going to look the same either. Like a lot of people are like, I want to look like Natasha, and I'm like, okay, well she's built like a supermodel and you're
Mm.
5'2" and have like a thicker frame, so you have to like, the results are relative to your personal genetics. And everybody's like ideal lean body weight, I always emphasize this, is going to look different person to person because of the genetic variation and what's healthy for your hormones. Like Harley told me, being at a BMI of like a 20 is going to be more ideal for like my body type, my genetics and stuff in terms of hormones versus like a 18 BMI. Like I'd have like a harder time like holding that and like having like kids and more stress and stuff like that. And like it's incredible how much he understands about the metabolism and like people's ideals and genetic potential without even knowing the person, just seeing photos and things like that.
He's definitely like very invested and focused. When he gets into something, he's really into it. Like I've never seen anything like it before. And the thing about like wanting to look like a certain body type, well, best thing really is just to focus on performance rather than achieving a body goal. Like once you focus on performance, you'll start seeing results and your body will come to its happy place. And everybody has a beautiful body when they take care of it, really. Like
Absolutely.
some people look like a model, some people are more curvy and muscular, and some people are more string bean, like, or athletic built, or
Right. I feel like everybody meets their like optimal level of health, ideal lean body weight, and you can just see it in the person because they have this glow. Like you have this really amazing glow about you where know your body is just working the way that it's supposed to. You're super healthy. Versus like, people can calorie restrict and lose a bunch of weight, but then they look really gaunt and they have bags under their eyes, and a lot of that's
yeah,
from like caffeine usage and
overeating.
stress. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
the caffeine thing is bad. Like I sometimes, well, I was doing like a lot of reaction videos with like the Plentiful Kiki and High Carb Hannah and Broccoli Mom's a new one. And in all their videos, these chicks are using some kind of a stimulant in order to like
Healthy Emmy as well.
yeah, Healthy Emmy is a good one to highlight. They're all using some form of stimulant. They're all calorie restricting. They're eating high carb, low fat. They also, I know for Kiki and for High Carb Hannah, they have hypothyroidism that hasn't been fixed with their diet, which you can fix a lot of thyroid conditions and hormonal conditions by eating enough carbohydrates on this lifestyle. So,
Yeah, it's quite sad. Like they're promoting like this 50-50 eating 50 vegetables, half not having vegetables and the other half to be like some whole grain. And like what a sad way to eat, really. And they're cutting out their sugar. I believe that's why they're more inclined to having more caffeine because they need that buzz. Um, for me, I've tried caffeine. I have caffeine very occasionally now. If it's before a running race, um, like a park run, but even then it really doesn't make a whole big difference. I think the big difference to performance is like consistent training, diet, hydration and sleep and mindset. And you can get stimulation from music and it's not healthy for your gut. I actually was diagnosed with gastritis, which is like an inflamed stomach lining. And as soon as I was super strict on cutting out the caffeine, any chocolates, coffees, teas, my symptoms of GERD just went straight away out the door without pharmaceutical medication. Um, and also being super strict on fat intake has really helped with that. And even painful periods, which I had before, like excruciatingly painful periods. So uh the main thing is just to stick to the lifestyle, really, and don't be afraid of the sugar and don't be afraid of the fruit. Um, and you don't have to focus so much on vegetables. Like, sure, vegetables
yeah.
are tasty on the side plate or for a bit of vitamins and minerals, but they should not be the center of your calories and your plate.
No, exactly. In fact, like I come from a past history of having gastroparesis and IBS, and I'll say like caffeine made it worse, fats made it worse. Like when I was eating animal protein, that made it worse. Cutting all that stuff out improved my gut function. So there's definitely something to like just eating for your like organism, I'll say, that we all thrive without those things and eating high carb, low fat. And then when it comes to like vegetables, like sure, vegetables are healthy, but we don't need to be eating copious amounts of them. In fact, like I know Harley's talked about this in his coaching group too, that a lot of vegetables, when you're eating like the cruciferous ones or a lot of spinach or things like that, they contain acids that irritate our gut, that cause inflammation, that a lot of people aren't aware of. They're just eating copious amounts of these things and they're like, why do I feel the way that I do? But a lot of people who are eating them too are the ones who are like, you know, trying those 50-50 plates for weight loss, doing the 1,500 calorie diets, and it's like a mess. But I do want to get back to talking about focusing on performance, because you said that you PR'd recently with your 5K. So I
Mm.
wanted to talk about that and how important it is to eat for performance, whether it's like job productivity, for reaching fitness goals, for just like improving fitness, and how weight loss ends up being a side effect of focusing on what you need to do to basically like feel your best every day. And it's amazing how it shifts off of the weight loss goal and it shifts into like, okay, I'm just going to chase that feel good, you know, every day. I want to feel good, because I do have people in my coaching group who they're struggling with the weight thing, but they know how good they feel doing this. And that's what drives them. And that's what I try to encourage them to continue doing as well.
Yeah, so performance wise, let's say for a 5K, I've recently just been trying to hammer it at parkrun just once a week, going as fast as possible. Not always like where I want to be with my timing, but it's about being consistent, and it's also about having the mindset. Um, when you go hard, you only go like once per week. And when I go hard, I'm trying to just blur out all the emotions aside and just run. Literally, just trying not to trip over and just run. And holding that, it's really easy to blow myself off the first K with park run. That's something I'm working on. And having also good shoes. I recently bought from Harley Vaporflies, Nike Vaporflies. They're really super soft cushioning. And yeah, just seriously, just staying consistent and pushing as hard as I can just once a week really helps with the time. And we can go a lot faster than we think we can. Also building the Ks on the legs, not overtraining, looking for signs of overtraining, like if the step on the ground sounds really loud, it's like a sign of fatigue. Just understanding your running form, um, not being too sore, should never be really too sore. That's a sign of fatigue, and always listening to your body. Um, with performance, like with work, just always carbing up, always staying hydrated, staying consistent with sleep, and putting your focus all into work. And the holy trinity of sugar, water, sleep. It sounds basic, but sometimes you really have to be organized to get onto it. Like we live in
For
a
sure.
world where like carbs can be hard to get if you're just eating out. Like you get small serving sizes at restaurants. There's not much like fresh, clean water around. You have to really bring your water with you. You have to bring your sugar with you. Late nights are encouraged in social like conditions. So sometimes you just have to say, hey, I have to go to sleep now. It's past my bedtime, but that's not really encouraged. So you really have to be on top of that just to perform in life, perform at work, perform in your fitness.
Oh, absolutely. And that's how you get the results. You have to be consistent with eating enough carbohydrates every day. And it's not as easy as it sounds. I mean, it is simple to do, but with the way that our current world is structured and sugar being demonized and everybody putting oil in everything, you really have to like seek out the foods that you want to eat in order to get the results that you want as well, especially when it comes to being strict with overt fats. I recently traveled, and if it wasn't for sugar, I would have like floundered. Typically, like when I travel, I mean, I always bring stuff with me, but then you get to a point where like you run out of food supplies and you have to go to like the gas station, or you're at the airport and you're trying to find things that don't have oil. Or and I was even looking for like I always default to the candies because those I know like don't have any fat in them, but then sometimes I want like a healthier, well, not necessarily a healthier option because sugar is sugar, right? But sometimes I want like a rice dish, or, something that has a little bit more volume to it. And
Yeah.
it's like you can't find it. So I end up drinking like lemonades and eating Sour Patch Kids for dinner sometimes when I'm traveling, which is fine to do, but it just sucks that like there isn't restaurants where you can just go to and it's like high carb vegan fare, and you're don't have to worry about it so much.
Mm. Yeah, recently I went to New Zealand, and a lot of the days, because I was doing a backpackers tour, I would just have to eat a whole loaf of bread for lunch with jam, or just a big, like a couple packets of Sour Patch Kids. But then you start to get over it. You're like, this is literally just getting repetitive now. But you're eating for fuel, you're eating for energy, and just to keep going. It's not always about eating the most fancy smanciest meals out there.
Oh, I know. And I like to keep it simple, but it's like sad when you can't even find the simple things,
Mm.
like you're defaulting to bread or like soda at the, gas station or something. And the sodas in America, I'm sure you can relate. They're just full of like chemicals, and they're not
Mm.
sweet. Like the last time I tried a soda here, I was like, this is disgusting. It literally tastes like toilet bowl cleaner or something. I'm like, why are people drinking this? I don't even know.
Yeah, or
But
Diet Coke, or it's full of carbonic acid and there's no sweetness. They use a lot of artificial sweeteners and colors and flavors. It's so hard just to get sugar in
yeah,
like a sugary lemonade. Like
yeah, because even those, they'll end up being full of chemicals. Sometimes I have luck with like the Snapple drinks. I don't know if you guys have that brand in Australia. But sometimes I have luck with those, or like slushies, but sometimes those can taste like horrible too. So I don't know what people are doing. Maybe they're adding more artificial sweetener to their stuff now, but I don't know. It'd be nice to just be able to get like some cleaner products, like when you're, grabbing going. But I don't think that's the world we live in right now. Like the system wants us to be sick so that we feed into the healthcare system. And I know you have experience with that because you said you worked as a nurse, correct?
yes, yeah, registered nurse, yeah. Worked in the hospital in the surgical part area. Um, yeah, there's just so much contradiction with glucose, with sugar. Sugar's bad, but then we're giving sugar to the patients to survive.
Right, exactly. I'm like, what do you think is in your IV bag over there?
It's hilarious. Like we give Hartmann solution with glucose in it to give paralyzed patients to keep them alive, but then in the lunchroom, everyone's on a low carb diet trying to lose weight. And they're
I
like,
know.
sugar, cut out sugar, it will kill you, it's bad for you.
No, that's what I don't understand either. I mean, I feel like everything in my biochemistry textbooks, like I wrote a nutrition program in order for people to like get the, all the information that I've learned over the years in like a proven format, right? Like basically that our cells require glucose in order for us to generate ATP and have energy and be alive, right? So I like wrote up this coaching
Human
program for that.
biology.
What? Yeah, exactly. It's like human biology, like 101. But like, it's funny because when you're teaching people this, they're like, wait, like really? Like, and they still don't believe it. They're just like, but how, so I get into like a lot of like gluconeogenesis and ketosis and break it all down and how it changes your metabolic rate and how it influences your metabolism and everything. And it's like really basic stuff. So when you're working in healthcare, I mean, it's like a no-brainer. Somebody's paralyzed or in a coma, like they need to have a glucose drip in order for them to stay alive. But then the disconnect is like most doctors are drinking the diet soda themselves or demonizing carbohydrates. It's like, where did you guys like forget like what you need in order to like be alive and produce energy? I don't understand like what happened.
It's like it doesn't apply to them, but it applies to every other human.
Right. Well, even when it comes to like weight loss, right? A doctor giving weight loss advice, and this is like conventional doctors, right? They're typically telling people to eat less food in general and to eat less carbs. And it's like, what? Like, where is that even coming from? It's like they don't understand enough of the biochemistry to like even give good advice, I guess.
Yeah, and a lot of doctors themselves, they struggle with their weight. I haven't met many fit looking healthy doctors themselves, and they're giving weight loss advice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really like a system full of like cognitive dissonance is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Where no one's really able to like put the pieces together, or like you were able to do that, but then like I don't know, your influence unfortunately isn't enough to influence the whole system where people are getting better advice. Because I know even for diabetes management, they control carb intake instead of fat intake and protein intake, and it's like what's the research are they referencing when they're giving this kind of advice to people? I don't know. I just know what works, and no, like I have, science to prove it and the clinical data to prove it, but it just like working against that mainstream, sugar phobia, like it's all pre-planned so that people just get sicker and fatter and keep feeding the industry.
Definitely. It's definitely an industry just trying to keep people going back. You do what you can, but end of the day, here we are showing physical proof, evidence that this lifestyle does indeed work. And yeah, I'm here to showcase that.
Yeah, and you're such a wonderful example, and I'm so happy that we got to connect.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we have a few minutes left. Is there anything else you want to chat about real quick?
I would say, uh, really put under the spotlight here. Um, what would you say is like good advice to just keep going, just to trust it, just to really like look at the science, or should we look at like examples like us, or just
I
like
know.
what?
That's such a great question. I know for me personally, the proving the science to myself came later. Seeing the examples, and it was hardly and freely at the time where I needed convincing, to get out of my restrictive diet, which I knew was hurting me because I didn't feel good. I had low energy. My periods were irregular. My digestion was horrible. So seeing their example and like how fit and glowing and lean they were without having to restrict calories, I was like, I want that,
Yeah,
So
every dream.
yeah, everybody wants to be able to eat as much as they want and like be fit, lean, and healthy. And so we're like showing people basically that you can do that. Like, here we are, here's our results. But then some people come back and say, well, your results aren't good enough or whatever, or I still don't believe you. I still don't believe her. I still don't, and then that's why I wrote my nutrition program, because I'm like, okay, if people really want the hard science, like, I'll just take it all and I'll put it together. I have a master's of science in nutrition. So I had all the textbooks, like that, all the information that I just had to like, quickly put together. And there you go. There's the science. I used a lot of, like, Harley talks about the science a lot in his videos. He's like, here's my results, but like, here's where, the data is that is proving like what I'm teaching, basically. Because a lot of people will come at him and say, well, you're like, a top elite athlete, so of course you can eat whatever you want and be like super lean. So I think it's important to understand that this applies to everyone. Everybody's going to get amazing results eating a high carb, low fat, plant-based vegan diet as much as they want of carbohydrates, limiting fats, and just staying fit and active. Everyone's going to get the results. It's just how we're meant to be.
Yeah. And like, you got to ask yourself, what is the alternative to this? Like, you can go back to restricting calories, keto, low carb, paleo, intermittent fasting. You can do all that, but you're going to feel like crap end of the day. Don't you just want to feel your best? Like, focus on feeling good and health and vitality. And then you will.
Yeah. And that was like a major driver for me, is I didn't want to feel like crap anymore. And then I'd eat this way and then I'd go back and I'm like, wow, I really feel like crap. So I want to keep like feeling